it relays like it's good values, and it also gives answers for people that own like if you for your sake knowing what happens after life makes you believe in some set of rules that are made by religion. It's actually be good because if it matters so much in your life and you let your life collapse about it just because it takes so much space, then and we don't have science proof, right? We just have hypothesis. But like if you
So,
can find
well,
answers in
no,
religion, it's
here's
gonna help you through your happiness. There you go.
yeah, and here's the
Yes,
thing though. Um, Here's the thing with that though. It's not just like the effect in people's lives. I mean, I think no matter what, people need like something like some sort of belief system. Um, and before you go, well, not I, not I, not I. Um, you're just the exception of the rule. The exception of the rule doesn't make the rule. So if you see people are clinging on to different things and different things to sort of hype up and believe in and sort of in a way worship, and the signs aren't noticeable unless you really start to dig in. Um, I can give a lot of examples, but then it quickly becomes political. So the question is, how deep down this road do you kiddies want to get?
I'm all for it, baby.
All
well, I
for
think
it?
if we focus on just the positives, I think that doesn't really. I
Yeah.
don't want to ignore the negatives and
Oh yeah.
disadvantages
Well,
of
there's a
what religion
negative.
has.
Well, that's my point too. With any worship and belief system, there are negatives. Um,
Just
there are
oh yeah.
negatives and positives to everything. Everything really everything in life is like a moderation. In moderation, this isn't terrible for you. That's literally almost everything. Let's take water for example. You need water to live. In moderation, water is great for you. In excess, water kills you.
See,
Whether it's
in
through a cell burst or me drowning you in a fucking bathtub, water can kill you in excess.
but see this moderation. Like if you visited traditional third world countries where religion is like so intertwined with the culture, this moderation just
It
doesn't
does,
exist.
yeah,
Like religion
exactly.
is the answer to everything. It's how we treat people. It's how we um, face our problems. It's how we treat our women. It's don't even get me started on women, dude. Like being in a third world country and having the lottery of a 50-50 chance of whether or not you're born a female. I
Yeah.
mean,
Well,
that's just
now wait. So it's not a 50-50 chance. It's more like a 52-48. More males are born. Males just have a higher chance of sickness, and of course, the other things that kill men stupidity, war, etc. So actually, it's not 50-50. More men are born, well, more boys. Unfortunately, not more boys make it to older years, whether it's through disease, war, famine, sickness, etc., and other things that cause boys and men in general to be the fodder of
Not very strong.
society. Because as a male, you're very disposable, and you're also got a higher chance of getting sick, etc. You're more or less likely to take care when you get that sickness. Um,
but think about the day to day,
Can we
the
average
oppressive
50-50
nature of
anyway?
being a woman.
well, oh, I'm not saying that's not bad. Let's not get to that. Especially you go to countries that haven't made the switch from sort of agricultural and more rural and just poorer societies, then it's super awful. Especially in those situations where the country still has super high birth rates because they're following the system of your children or your retirement, which doesn't dissipate until a society has a lot of middle class and education in it. Then that situation dissipates and the population starts to decline.
Just
Yes.
curious, have you traveled? Have you seen other countries?
Yes, I've seen some terrible shit on the third world front.
Mm.
Um, so I'm not listen. I don't want you. It sounds like you're really honing in on that. I'm not saying it's not terrible to be a woman in those situations.
No, no, it
Um,
was just a tangent I got into
yeah.
because I got into a woman and then I started to feel for them and then there's just so
Oh
many.
yeah. Especially in those situations, there's a lot to feel. Though, ironically, when the education starts to hit in those, I believe it hits on the female side quicker than the male side. But it benefits the female side quicker too. Is you find weird practices like, oh, it's that time of the month and now you can't do anything for a week dissipate super fast once you get that middle sort of the population skewing more to the middle class thanks to industrialization and education. Ironically, that problem dissipates like overnight. And that's an exaggeration. It's not overnight, but it damn near is. So you get out of that sort of Stone Age practice of, well, you're on the burlap, you can't do anything all week. That dissipates. The education, whenever you take a lot of education standards to the sort of developing countries, it definitely does hit the women quicker than the men. And that probably goes back to the same argument of, well, what kills the boys and men so young? Well,
Stupidity.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're
hard
not
labor
quick to
as well.
jump on education. They're very quick to do dumb shit, you know?
I think the main thing that kills men in today's day and age, why like it's not. I mean, yeah, there is stupidity, but I think it's like physical labors.
Well, that too. There's definitely a expendability. So we can go back to those countries again. If there's a construction project and they're doing risky stuff, the more expendable nature of the male is going to create a situation where, oh yeah, you don't need harnesses working 200 feet up in the air. It's going to create that. And then the stupidity plays in of, why should I need a harness? I'm invincible. Another feature of the young male is the invincibility there. You feel invincible at 18. That's why we recruit for military stuff at such a young age. Because you take a 30-year-old and they go, oh, I woke up one day and I was fucked all week. You know? And that desire of, oh, I'm invincible dissipates really quick past the mid-20s.
You went through the military?
That's neither here or there. That's just, it's a known fact. If I were to start saying...
No, I'm just curious.
Yeah, if we were to start saying, hey, everyone who's fit at 30 will be what we recruit, the recruitment numbers would drop. Just because when you're younger, you do feel invincible. That's like just a natural inbuilt presence to just the human in general.
Hey, Zaza.
That's a huge hit.
No, this is Patrick.
Uh-oh, did we kill Zaza? Is it because I told him he's expendable?
You alright? I learned it from watching you.
I hope you didn't learn anything from me.
Zaza, you there?
You have good sleep?
I thought he said Frenchly, he'll be right
Oh,
back.
that's what I sleep.
Frenchly, he'll be right back. In that fucking French language, ou de trois and
Every time I went up to check, you were snoring.
ou de trois.
Please follow this link.
Oh,
Hey,
did they send you a link that quick, man?
Yeah.
Does Chaos Fantic drop anything good? Or whatever the
The
fuck?
Pat. I think everything else is like alkables and trash. But he has a decent rate on the pet while not being as awful as There's a problem with your office license. It might be counterfeit. That's fine. Kittens. Wow, it got real quiet here. What happened, guys?
I was
I mean,
doing...
I just didn't have anything to add.
Yeah, I didn't either. I was sidetracked by pretending to
Navi.
be an adult.
Pretending to be an adult.
Yeah.
What's
Hey,
up?
They
Navi.
already
Did your folks put you through a religious childhood?
So when I was younger, it's a really weird mix here. My stepfather did a Catholic with the whole PSR on weeknights and Sundays. And my mother,
Where's
she,
PSR?
it's, I just remember it being called PSR. Someone else has told me what it stood for. It's basically a religious education course.
Shit, you guys can probably hear my fucking clicking, can't you?
Yeah. It's a religious education class.
Fucker.
And then,
Hey y'all, I'm probably gonna hop off for a bit. I'm gonna watch some Jimmy videos and then probably pass the fuck out.
Still feeling
so-
fucked up, bro?
I'm pretty fucked up, but I'm still swigging, you know?
Yeah.
Wow, that link did not embed.
Woo!
what link didn't embed?
Have fun, buddy.
The one they sent. I have to
Oh, I
copy
will.
and paste it.
Jimmy makes fantastic content, so I can't wait to watch. I was in his latest video.
You made a new video, Jimmy?
Yeah, Jimmy made a new by-release video.
Oh, cool.
You know the
I
one
love
where he got the Guthans helm from the
His
Barrow's
style,
chest?
dude. Sam.
Oh,
Yeah,
crap.
the-
Should I
the
have
one where-
auto-filled it with resume?
I didn't see that.
No, I think you'll be fine, man.
But I was there in that Twitch chat when he got the Guthans helm in his latest video.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I put hi YouTube, and at the very end, somebody gifted a sub. I'm the one right above it. So my chat actually kind of sticks out. But anyway, I'll see y'all later. I'm gonna go probably get more drunk and play some RuneScape and watch some streamers.
Oh, you do.
Yeah,
See ya, y'all.
Oh, fuck.
but to
I'll be right
answer
back.
that,
I'll be right back.
no problem. I'm trying to find out what that stood for. Parish.
Well, it's a Catholic thing?
Yeah, Parish School of Religion, I guess. Is what I'm finding. Seems like, I don't know. It doesn't matter.
It's like
Uh,
a staple of the Catholic childhood to go to PSR.
Yeah, I guess it is. They do everything from like when you're younger, teach you stories,
Mhm.
teach you how to do the thing with the bread and shit. Okay. But on the opposite side of it, my mom handed me books and was like, "Here's Greek philosophy, and why don't you learn Latin?"
Oh, that's awesome. Holy
and this
shit.
and that.
So she wasn't afraid of you getting
Well-
information from outside sources?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, she had a thought that I might be a doctor one day, and the human body had a thought that I didn't like seeing things torn open, but that's neither here or there.
So you're not a doctor, I take it?
No.
If I meet a woman, I can't be the doctor.
Yeah, something like that. But
Okay,
yeah,
well,
so
shut
I
the
had
fuck
a
up.
varied education. Plus, I had internet access from like 6 or 7 onward.
So you don't think it was ever something, where they didn't
No,
encourage questioning, no outside sources, super
Um,
strict, super restricted, sheltered, etc.
so I did everything I could to avoid it. I think I was in the program for many years, and if I had to be honest, I probably attended maybe 10, 12 in total. I know I had to do their little ritual where you learn how to eat the bread on Sundays. I did like one overnight thing where we made some bread. A lot of bread involved in this. See, it's not religion for someone like me who can't eat bread. It's just me and that religion, we just don't get along. But I had way too much philosophy at a way young age. I had a very high reading comprehension from a young age too. So it was like, and then having access to the internet. I mean, I'm not gonna say I wasn't a cringy atheist at one time either. Definitely did that too.
I think when you're exposed to only the shit end of religion and just you have a miserable childhood because of it.
Yeah.
I think it's really hard to grow up and feel this appreciation for what the advantages of religion brought to society and the world, because you can't really wrap your head around the fact that these sheep need some sort of governing
Oh,
thing for them to feel fulfilled and
oh yeah.
find purpose in their lives. So it's like, depending on how you grew up and what you grew up with, you can have completely different perspectives.
Oh yeah, definitely. It
Where's
took
religion?
me. It wasn't until I got older and matured I realized, albeit not for me, there's definitely a need in people's life for that. And they're gonna find, ironically, too, though, people will find it someplace at some point in time. So whether it's a regular Western religion, Eastern philosophy, etc., someone's going to find something. And I think you find that when you see, God, maybe what was it, 6 to 10 years ago, when like you had the really uptight atheist sort of movement going on.
With Charles Darwin and Christopher Hitchens and all them.
Yeah, and you had the really uptight sort of in your face. That right there,
It was
in a way.
the Four Horsemen or something like that, right?
I don't remember groups.
Four Horsemen of Atheism.
Yeah, but that's not the direction I'm going. I'm not blaming it on them in general. The sort of uptight, in your face attitude right there is a sign of a religion on its own. Just
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it doesn't sound like a traditional religion doesn't make it any less of a one if you just break it down to tenable facts. Oh shit, I forgot I'm supposed to be responding to these.
So you wouldn't say you have any qualms with how you were brought up or how you were raised? Just
No,
good
I
touch
mean
with,
my qualms are different. My
Oh,
qualms are a different type of qualms
Gotcha.
based on the understanding of what a child needs throughout the different stages of life and the exact failure of those needs, which can result into some of the other factors you see in people. My qualms are more related to that than they
Gotcha.
are any philosophical
I'm with
or
you.
religious or educational upbringing.
This was in the States where you grew up?
Yeah. How about you, though? Were you forced into anything?
Yeah, that was my entire childhood, man, being forced into shit. Honestly, because I have a very large family. I don't know if you're familiar with foreigners, but they love to have kids.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I
we
have
just
like,
made that argument there. A lot of that comes down to what education and industry is available in that country. That just leads back to what I said: birth rates rapidly decline with education and industrial
right.
practices.
But the question that I keep going back to is why am I the one that started questioning these things as opposed to all those around me that are blindly, or at least from what I can see, blindly following what I refuse to follow? So then I started to think about, nature versus nurture, because we obviously have the same environment that we grew up in, we have the same stimulus, all exposed to the same shit. Um, so as far as nurture goes, I mean nature, like how my brain processes things and takes in new information. I don't know why I'm different than such close relatives, because we couldn't be further up, like more different from each other. It's two ends of the spectrum, pretty much. So I feel like I'm the only one that grew up thinking the way I did, feeling the way I did. So I was super alone, nobody in my family. I had to just come into the conclusions I came to. The conclusions about life I have now are conclusions I had to come to all by myself, pretty much. And I think having that internet access was pretty fucking invaluable, because surely, in the past, the way society was going before the internet, surely there were people like me stuck in this world, not knowing what's right, not knowing what's wrong, and these questionings they're asking being shut down by the authorities in their life.
Yeah. Well,
Just
on that front, though, you said come to it on your own. And while mostly it was on your own, I mean, there's still outside sources.
But I had access to the internet. And that's
yeah.
like I needed that for the outside sources in the first place.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. I was leading somewhere else with this, because I have a quote I like for this. Ironically, it comes from a somewhat religious movie. On that, the whole sources and when you're viewing things, we both have truths. Are yours the same as mine?
Yeah.
Now,
I mean, nobody lives life thinking they're living it incorrectly. Like they all have these set of ideas, and they're all different from others. But they're not having those ideas thinking they're bad ideas. Like they wouldn't have those ideas if that was the case. Like they're living life in the lens they see things as correctly. You know, the way they think, the way they feel, their opinions on things. That's just the right to them. So yeah. What movie was this, by the way?
I'm working on that because you're gonna shit yourself. You're gonna go,
okay.
this motherfucker. But give me 1 second. I just gotta make sure this has it.
But yeah, I mean that makes sense. I guess I didn't attach a code to that.
Oh, fucking shit. This conversation's getting deep.
Too deep?
No,
I like
I
it.
enjoy listening to it.
Same.
I'm just listening. This stuff doesn't bother me.
I mean, I'm agnostic, so I like listening and to everyone's perspective on it, just because I love being exposed to all of the different opinions, so I can get a better view.
Yeah,
People don't understand that being agnostic is nothing more than you saying I don't know. So if someone comes to me with religion XYZ, with the certainty of 100% that this is what's happening, this is what's going on in the world, this is who's controlling this is what you need to do when you're encountering with this, etc. Like that 100% certainty, we both know is bullshit. So instead of pushing it on me, why don't I just ask you, okay, then why don't you believe in Thor? Why don't you believe in Odin? Why don't you believe in the thousand
See,
fucking...
now that right there is where we get back to the argument.
The in your face.
Yeah, the in your face argumentative atheist.
But see, they're the ones that usually started because they attach this connotation to agnostics as anti-religion people and these atheists when it's a simple, I don't know what's real, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to believe in because I don't know anything for 100% certainty like you're claiming you are, so the burden of proof is on you, but you're treating me like it's on me.
Yeah, see, I don't like anything where someone goes, we're 100% certain either. Like I take a very Eastern Zen view to things, but that's just because it jives with a more be chill, relax. Now, it's not my mainstay, but there's things I like about it. Like I like the idea of recycling. You die, recycle, etc. But I like that because everything else in nature recycles. I don't, whether or not it's the truth, well, that's unfounded. Good luck. We have 0 survivors that have come back and said, yeah, that's what happens.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just I look at how nature works and I go, well, if a tree dies in the woods, it breaks down, goes back into the soil, feeds back into a cycle, Would make sense that if anything, either it's lights out or we recycle if there was something...
So kind of a watered down version of reincarnation.
Yeah. That falls in the background of it because ironically, Zen's mostly just a know yourself type deal. And then you add the reincarnation and you get like Zen Buddhism and etc.
And that's a Chinese origin, would you know?
Japanese origin for the Zen. Brought to America in the 60s and late 50s by initially Alan Watts. He did all the translation work. Largely because of his talks and people's opinions of him. Largely a misremembered fact. That he literally, he went to some high-end school, learned a shit ton of Japanese, translated things like the Art of Zen, I think it was, maybe. I might misremember the book. Translated it and brought it to Western culture. And people focus on the fact they drink and smoke a lot. Ironically...
And that's not true?
No, he did. Ironically, though, when you ask other Zen masters of the time their opinion of him, and that's documented too, they go, well, he's sort of the epitome of it, because it's sort of a do as do, type following.
And what was his name? Alan?
Alan Watts would be your initial guy who brought it to the West. I don't think there's any sources that predate him heavily on it. And that happens in the maybe late 40s, but I'm pretty sure it's late 50s, early 60s. He brings it.
Interesting. You found the name of the movie?
I had actually already linked it in voice text right to around the scene it happens.
Oh, okay. Worthy of a watch? What do you think?
Oh, fuck, Roracy. Raynor. What the fuck's called?
It's worth a watch? What do you think?
Oh, definitely. It's from a musical that happened in the late 70s.
Oh, I thought it was a movie you linked.
No. No, you can find the whole musical on there in different years, but the 70s one is the best. Now, I like musicals in general.
Going to them or listening to them?
Listening. Ironically, the Catholic stepdad was the one who... every Easter he would do that one. It was the stories based around that. And that's the only, I don't know, that's the only good culture I ever found in any of that.
Well, there's nothing wrong with taking the good and leaving the bad. Just like taking some aspects of, Zen culture.
Oh, I'm a big fan.
Well, it's hard to argue.
I'm a big fan of take the good and leave the bad right behind.
Right. It is hard to argue, though, that Zen culture has enough bads for that quote to be, a relevant quote in Zen culture.
Oh, definitely. I've dealt with... you want to see the bad side of it? Go right onto the subreddit.
Uh-huh.
And then go right to their Discord.
What subreddit?
For Zen. r/Zen. And go right to the subreddit.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And go right to their Discord. And within a week, I was like, I'm not confused on the ideals of this. It's more of a chill thing. And this is obscenely egotistical mess. I think you lost the plot for the forest, man. I left. I mean, I was looking at it, I'm like, this is just, it's an echo chamber of people who lost the plot for the forest, man.
Honestly, echo chamber is the perfect way to describe a lot of groups these days.
Yeah, well, that goes back to that religious facet. People created an echo chamber.
Right.
I'm a big fan of, with anything, why don't you find more sources?
Yeah, I'm with you.
You take the political side of things. I try to look at news sources from both sides when I'm looking at different news things. And it's really funny. I've watched in my time, especially in the past 5, 6, 7, 8 years, I've really watched one side says this, the other side says this. You piece it together and you get the story that's bland in this direction, but to spin it in either one for their readers is how they did it, this way and this way.
Yep. You're still elbow deep in the political world today?
No, I don't. I have a deep opinion of not give a fuck.
Hey, yeah, I respect it. Do you vote?
Nope.
I respect it even more.
My state has a public voter registry.
What state is that?
That's a time for a different time. But it is
100.
That's a question for a different time. But it is 100% open. So all I need after, if I talk to someone from my state and a few other states, all I need is their first and last name and sort of a small triangulation of where they are, and I can find them on the different states' voter records that are public.
So
to me, it's a massive security breach.
Gotcha.
And for what? If there's one thing I've noticed over the years, if you take a look at most things, it seems no matter which way you go, it's always a. This will sound shitty, but it seems like it's always a dystopian march forward. It doesn't matter what person you have sitting where, the same agenda is always moving forward.
Can you explain?
Let's take recently. Now, this one's not political, but it is in a way, because the money is coming from zero-interest government programs. Recently, you have Bloomberg posting news articles that say America needs to become a nation of renters. If you're on the lower end of lower spectrum of income, one of the few generational wealths you can build is owning property. And now we're pushing this we're giving corporations no interest loans to buy single family homes to lock out the average American from home ownership.
Right.
Now, I'll tell you it this way. It doesn't matter who's sitting in that seat, that money still would have gone to them.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna get to. I don't think it's always the space of the narrative pushing. I don't think it's always one person in charge.
No.
So it's more like organizations that we need to focus on.
Oh, I don't disagree.
But I guess all you were arguing for is that these marches are happening, not the fact that it's happening from one person in one chair kind of thing.
Well, see, it's the easiest thing in the world for you, if I say focus, it's like a Wizard of Oz thing. You're focused on the face on the hologram, but not the organizations behind the curtain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, a program I really dislike that's happened, really took off after 2001 was a program where they gave police precincts military weapons, right?
Yeah.
And it's not for anything that's happening recently. I've always just disliked it because you get further and further from a protect and serve to sort of a dystopian fucking, if you want to know what the future is, it's just a boot stomping on the neck of people for eternity. That sort of Orwellian fucking future. I've always disliked that. Now I've watched. To give you an example, that doesn't matter what man's in the seat, that program started in the late 80s with Reagan. Continued with the next guy, continued with the next guy. So you had different parties, back and forth. Every time the chance came up, renew the program. And now we're hitting this point where people are like, hey, the police are armed with second hand from the world's most powerful military. That's a little iffy. It's like, but that's not recent. That's not recent at all. Whereas you look at a lot of other countries, Western, Eastern, etc., you don't have this militarized police state. You don't have these police that, like, I'm jealous of the UK. You take their cops, the car is well visible, it's shiny. If you need help, you know where you can go if they're nearby. But you take the American system, and it's blacked out cars designed to get funds for the local government, basically. And then there's and that seems like it gets political towards one way or the other, but the oppression of your brother is soon your oppression, you know? And
Yeah, I'm with you.
That's where I think our American policing system's going, is call your local oppressor if you need help at your own risk.
These go back to what you were saying with the public voting records. Is this a common thing for the states?
Yes, there are a lot of states. A lot of doxing can begin with, you go to a gas station on the corner in Tillamook County. I'm just making stuff up. In West Virginia, okay, and your name's Bob Jim. That's I guess you know what. I guess in this example they have 2 first names. I don't care. Okay, so I know that is in this county. There can't be more than a few Bob Jims in that county. And next thing you know, you've narrowed someone down based on just a few information points. And next thing you know, oh, Bob Jim said something I don't like on Twitter. Let's cancel him. Well, here's where he works. Here's his address. Here's his phone number. Here's how he's voted for the past 10 years.
So
If you don't like what he didn't do, you won't like how he voted, you know?
Mm-hmm. So I take it you take privacy very seriously?
Oh, yeah.
So do you have an iPhone?
I have custom OS Android.
Bro, you are speaking my language, man.
With no gaps. I love looking at source code to see where things are going and aren't going.
Oh my god, yes! Holy shit.
I use VPNs. One of my favorite things about Discord when I first saw it, because I grew up in a time of Ventrilo, TeamSpeak, Mumble. One of the first things I really loved about Discord is it immediately uses a... Now, let's diverge from a point here, but the first thing I loved about them was for all their voice communications, it all is somewhat VPNized through their stuff. It's tunneled in a way.
I didn't know that.
Yes, so ironically, getting someone's IP off it isn't as easy as it should be compared to something like Ventrilo back in the day where I could pull your info immediately. Discord.
Would you know if that's still around?
What, TeamSpeak?
No, the first one you mentioned.
Ventrilo?
Yeah.
Oh god, that died off so long ago. Let's have a look.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I do mind. And the answer is somewhere in my 20s.
27.
Oh, hey, that's fair.
Let's see. The last time they posted a news article was 2017 in like August.
Yo, cat. Who's this guy with a cat? What's this other guy doing here?
Let's see. They don't have a date on their last version. Huh. So
I've never heard of it. I've only heard of TeamSpeak, is why I asked.
Huh. Yeah, it was pretty cool back in the day. It was a competitor to TeamSpeak. But now the opposite side of Discord is, with the stuff that had happened in this previous election cycle that will sort of dissipate over the coming months and reappear next, they did mention that they were going to start looking more into the conversation sent, build filters to detect and ban these things automatically, which then that becomes a question of, yes, we are using a service that you provide, etc., 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 but at what point are you overstepping a boundary, you know? At what point does it become, okay, cool, yeah, you're selling it to us as safety for us. But that's the same as, hey, we'll deliver food to your house. You don't need to buy other things, grow your own food or anything else. This is safety. We want to make sure the food you get is safe, or etc.
No.
At some point, promising safety to an end user goes from, we care about your safety to, we want to control what is said and not said. No. And it's a very slippery slope. It starts with, well, we want to stop this from being said. This isn't what we want to happen. And once you make that permission, because these things happen in steps, people, it's the old frog in a pot. If I turn up the heat and lock you in your house indefinitely, you're gonna fucking fight and go crazy. But if we do small steps, hey, it's real dangerous to be outside between 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. So you should stay home for your safety and the safety of others. Then I go, you know what? 4 o'clock's getting real dangerous too. 3 o'clock's pretty dangerous too. 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock. All these steps where we sort of, you're already used to this level, and now we just bump it up a hair more, a hair more, a hair more. And eventually you've already locked yourself in. And that can show with this more recent thing where you had people sort of doing, you're going to have people, even after it completely dissipates, you're going to have people who are wearing a mask 10 years from now into places because they don't feel safe. It's that small...
Because everyone's a fucking baby back bitch.
Well, it's not just that. It's a psychological thing. So these people needed... Whatever trigger was needed was already done. But those a hair more, and you'll never know. Think of it with taxes. If I impose a 10% tax on you right now, you're going to be like, what the fuck? What for? But if I start at a 2%, you're like, well, that's reasonable. And then next year I go 3%. Well, yeah, things get more expensive. 4%, 5%, 6%. So in a period of time, I'll get the 10% I wanted. And you won't notice. You won't notice and you won't care because it was slow and gradual. Nature loves, organisms love slow and gradual change. But immediate
Well, I mean, people
change.
in these positions, they understand human nature. It's a simple psychological tools they use to get what they want. The only sacrifice is, takes a stretch of time.
Exactly. So we go slowly. Same thing with privacy. I offer you a service, and I go, look, you share and be with your friends. All your friends are here. You go, oh, okay.
Great point, yeah.
And then slowly over time, hey, you know what? We need your birthday. We want to make sure you're old enough to view some material if it comes along. Oh, yeah, that's reasonable. Hey, can I have your address? We just want to, put you with more people in your area.
Yeah.
Oh, that's super reasonable.
I'm with you 100%.
Hey, what's your social? We want to offer this service to you for free. You'll love it.
I think the best decision I've ever made, so far at least, is never starting any social accounts, even when in my younger days, regardless of how tempting it was. And sure, there are advantages. Obviously,
There's a lot of advantages, and there's some disadvantages. Like more and more employment is becoming who you know, how you know, where you know.
Yep.
And that's a real hindrance, unfortunately. And it's always been who you know for a lot of the nicer stuff.
Always.
But now, even if you know, you're sort of locked out because it's behind a walled garden of your personal information. Which sucks. It really does. Don't get me wrong. Now, I've always been, whenever it came to socials, I'm a big fan of disposable identities.
How do you mean?
Just identities
like
that you
come
can
up
use.
With it?
Yeah, like, I have a name that I've used for so long. I swear to God, I make a joke that it has its own driver's license.
It has its own driver's license?
It's a joke, but yeah.
Oh, okay. And that's going well for you so far? It's like a phone number, an address,
Oh yeah.
I never thought about.
I've established stuff that I can use at any point in time. There's no point not to.
Yeah, I'm with you.
There's many phone services out there, and in a way, just by using a few things here and there, this made-up name goes from made up to real overnight.
Right. Yeah. I like that idea, honestly. I don't know why I never thought of it.
Well, I think a lot of people go, it doesn't matter my privacy, and I have tons of arguments like you don't shit in public with the door open, and people go,
I'm still going to though.
Yeah, and that's the response people get, and I go, but privacy is also security. Well, I got nothing to hide. Okay, well then you're also a product. I don't care. It gets me free parking. Okay. You know what? And at the end of the day, I've learned I'm not gonna win.
Honestly,
The
my
privacy
opinion
is
is nothing's wrong with that mindset. Like they could be living life with just as much, if not more, happiness than you.
oh yeah,
And I don't think we're
that's
in any position to feel any sort of sadness or
oh yeah. No, I
like
mean,
give
and I
mental rental space.
yeah, and I stopped a long time ago. Trust me. I learned that the argument for privacy and security isn't going to work with those type of people, and it's a waste of time. So I don't
My
push that.
favorite thing right now is at my work. They sent out an email, and the email is talking about how they're very pleased that because a lot of people are not about, the whole vaccination thing right now, especially since it's kind of being designed to get more people ill. But um they're like we just in the email they say like 33% of people already have it in the workplace and they need everyone to be at 100%. And which is technically an invasion to your medical rights, as well as them trying to get you to do that as well. And the reason why it's not legal is because of HMLA. It's illegal against that act for workplaces to see your medical logs.
So what they're probably doing is going off of how a lot of workplaces have a submit your
They
status
are.
situation.
Yeah. That is what they're doing. They're trying. That's their little loophole. But regardless, just that means they have to see your medical records, which is illegal because employers are not allowed to see your medical records in general.
Yeah, and that's a whole thing too. And they'll do it. That giving up that information goes back to what I said. We'll give you a little thing. Like my workplace gave you $100 if you
Mm-hmm.
submitted a vaccination card.
Yeah.
Also, you had the ability not to wear a mask anymore and all that. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
look at all these free sweet things.
Yeah.
And
Can you explain how it's designed to get more people sick?
Yeah, it is. Because
Can you
right
explain a
now, what's
little?
going on is now there's a new virus strain called the Delta strain, and that's basically like people who already got the vaccination are more susceptible to get that strain, and now they have to get a third shot to be less susceptible to that strain. It's like it's just a money game right now.
And you think that was all intended?
I mean, kind of is if you think about it. I mean, that's how vaccinations work in the medical genre.
oh,
I mean,
so
it's all well, medicine now versus back then. Medicine was, and let's say back then, it was meant to cure things and make things less, effective to us, like polio and all those other things. Those were sensible vaccinations that were needed. This is a virus, and the whole thing is it's being controlled because they're trying to do that to basically, it's to make more money. And the reason why I'm not the only one who thinks this, but I've been trying to pay attention more about it. But basically, it's just, medical professional, like not medical professionals, but the people who are in charge of medical supplies, they're going to be the ones who are going to make more money out of it because everything in these days, especially, it's all about money. Am I right?
Of course.
Money is power now, which is the
Actually,
saddest
mm,
thing right now.
one thing I actually do want to mention is that is why big pharmaceutical companies don't even invest their time and money into new antibiotics anymore
Mm-hmm.
because it's money waste.
oh
That's
yeah.
why
Exactly.
big pharma is just fucking terrible.
Oh, my favorite thing with that was the story I saw. It was it's we're gonna make up the name of the snake, um, but it was a snake in India. Someone here developed the vaccines, not the anti venom. Sorry, and that company there bought it. Now, if you're bitten by the snake, you can relish in the fact that you will die because the patent holder for it decided it was not profitable because it was only needed 2 or 3 times a year. and decided they wouldn't make it anymore. But instead of giving the patent up as like a public sort of decency thing, I guess, they just still hold on to the patent. So while you're dying from this venomous snake bite, you can relish in the fact that because it didn't sell enough, it's not being made.
Mm-hmm.
This was in India, you said?
Yeah, it was some Indian snake.
And this is still the case today?
Yes. Because only 3 to 5 farmers a year get bit by it and die. But let's say you're a tourist from one of these entitled places, and there's more anti-venoms than that and more other things. There are plenty of things where we are good on it, but because it's so uncommon, there's nothing done about it.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine it'd be like if I cured something only 2,000 people in the whole world a year get, and it costs nothing to make it, but because you can't make incredible profits off of it, you go, as a pharmaceutical company, I'm working for you, you go, that's really good, degree sign, that you cured that. It's really good. You're going to help a lot of people. And then down the road, it's helping no one because, well, it only costs 50 cents to make, but only 2,000 people a year will ever need it. And that's just, we're not going to be able to sell it for that. A lot of them are in poorer areas. They're not going to have the money. I mean, the only way it would work for us if we sold it for 10 grand a dose. And no one's going to pay that, so it's not worth our time. So instead of going, you know what, you could put the patents in the public space and some company that makes generics could have it. You hold on to that patent for, I believe, 20 years until it can be generic.
2 Bill 4?
Yes.
2 Bill 4.
So, yeah, the pharmaceutical industry itself is a joke. And if you're in the U.S., you'll pay more than any other country for the same stuff. So when we're talking about organizations that could dissipate, that one could overnight hang them all from the gallows.
It's sad because if you think about it, like the whole point of human nature is to help one another, and no one does that.
Yeah, but even if it wasn't money, it would be something else because
it would be. That's what I was going to lead to my second part, which was, but even then, that we always fall back to the second part, which is destroy.
Well, it's not just that. I had this argument with Zaza once about people's desires to be in hierarchies. No matter what, someone wants to be at the top of whatever given hierarchy they're in.
Yeah, because it's greed. That's all it is.
Well, it's power, too. It's the desire to be at the top of
greed
that
hierarchy. Is power, though. Power is greed. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just
the thing. Even
it
if
falls down.
Even if there was no money involved, it's not greedy to be at the top of a hierarchy. It's a survival strategy. It's biologic.
No, I know that. But think of it like this. You're with the argument you're stating, which is even if there was no money involved, okay, that's fair. Let's go to, let's see, how far back? We can go all the way back to the prehistoric age, right? Prehistoric age, let's say there's caveman and such, because some people are going to be biased by that, but whatever. And in this age, you have the person who invented the wheel. And everyone sees that and they're like, ooga ooga, me fucking want wheel. And that guy's like, nah, me make wheel. That's power, a point of power.
It is.
You know what I mean?
But power isn't necessarily greed. Greed creates power in this situation, but no matter what, even if you take animals that have no concept of property or ownership, you still have a hierarchy because there's other benefits to being at the top of a hierarchy. If you're the biggest ape on the playground, guess what? 1, you're somewhat safer. 2, because you don't have to worry.
You get all the pussy.
2, you get all the pussy. So there's a biological component there.
False. I get none, but continue.
Well, you're not at the top of your hierarchy, are you?
I used to be.
No, you weren't. I mean, I know.
Well, see, that's interesting, isn't it? Because would you attach greed to just monetary things? Because I'm thinking,
well,
in your
greed can
scenario,
be
being
resources too, but I wouldn't say the climbing the hierarchy is necessarily equivalent to greed. I think greed requires concepts and language to exist, and has.
I think I'd agree with you. Yeah.
You can make it such a wide, definable thing, but it's more of a biological nature.
Right.
That's it's literally the old scorpion crossing the river thing. It's not that the scorpion's greedy and wants to kill more fucking badgers crossing
Yeah,
the
exactly.
river.
That's why I'd agree
It's-
with you, because I'm
it's-
trying to attach it to animals, but it's kind of hard.
But it isn't. I mean,
But no, trying to be at the top of this jungle gym, for example, of a
Yeah.
society of apes, it's kind of hard to.
It is a very hard concept to put in, but it does have its own sense of make into it. You know?
yeah. I mean, because
So you were saying you were having this conversation with Zaza. What was the
we
argument
were
trying
just
to be
talking
made?
about hierarchical systems of management versus a circular system, which it's its own thing. I think I have the video somewhere. Yeah,
The
there's
video
no
of your conversation.
yeah, there's no need to retread it. But at the end of the day, I explained that even when you do a more flat management style like that, people still have the desire to find themselves somewhere in a hierarchy. Like, I can use this game as example. When we set up these ranks in here, people go, I want a higher rank. Well, there is no higher rank.
That's literally the reason I'm in this clan, dude. Like, no ranks is what got me
Yeah.
into it.
Well, and I did that for 4 years prior to this. There was a hierarchical system, and it was harder to maintain, and it creates problems. It creates, I've been here forever. How come I'm not here? How come I'm not there? How come I haven't
exactly, yeah.
haven't moved up? And it's like, bro, it's a fucking video game.
Exactly.
Can you please
exactly.
relax? You know, I have a life. My job isn't to sit here all day and figure out if you deserve to go to the next level.
Bingo. You hit the nail.
Yep. But no matter what, even in this system, there are people who want to climb a hierarchy.
That's just human nature, bro. I mean,
It is.
I
And
feel like
that's
you have to.
my argument is that no matter what you do, no matter how egalitarian you make people, there's always, and that's one of the reasons certain things fail, is because no matter how much you cover people, there's always a hierarchy they want to fall. And my favorite example for this is, and it's going to sound nerdy, Star Trek. You have a machine that can beep boop, there's food in front of you. You know? And later on, when they go back to Earth and everything, they control the weather, there's no more global warming. There's no need for anything. You have no need. Yet still, people join this basically space military, crudely veiled in exploration, but they do a lot of military shit. And they still want to climb that hierarchy from the bottom decks all the way up to captain. Because no matter how much, if I invent a machine tomorrow that can put a brand new fresh cooked steak in front of you for almost zero cost, and the machine can
I'm a
replicate
vegan, so I can't do that.
The machine can replicate its stuff. You still have a desire to land somewhere in the hierarchy. Because one, you need to know your bearings. That's built into human nature too. You need to know where you're at. Because you will, and it affects you poorly if you're at the bottom of that hierarchy. Whatever hierarchy it is. Whether it's your hierarchy at work, your hierarchy in your friend group, etc. Being at the bottom isn't a great place to be. And your body reacts to it. And not to sound like a certain...
Hey, Wormy.
Hey, guys.
Hey, it's Wormy. And not to sound like a certain Canadian psychologist, but it's the easiest example I can pull off the top of my ass. Lobsters. They have a hierarchy, and they react to it. You know, they'll grow less if they're at the lower end of the hierarchy. They have no like psychological system. They're just pure nervous system, and they'll shrink back if they lose a spot in the hierarchy. So no matter what, that's inbuilt into nature, and it's inbuilt from the ground up. The weak reproduce and survive, and the I mean, the strong reproduce and survive, and the weak die.
No, you need to rephrase it correctly. Ooga ooga me want fuck. All right.
But it's not just fuck.
Suck my ass.
Hold up.
It's more than that, though. It truly is.
More than fucking someone's ass?
Yeah, it's more than fucking.
But what about someone's ass?
Okay, if that's what you're looking for.
He just asked the question. He said, "Fuck my ass."
Listen, bro, it's really getting hard for you to argue that you don't swing that way. Just to let you know.
Don't make me unzip my zipper to zip it up again.
Okay. So what?
Yeah,
was the
Alan, you're
question?
incriminating yourself more and more each day here.
Hey, it's what I do.
Alright.
I mean, Alan,
Take
we'll
that.
accept you, dude. It's no problem.
How deep is your hole?
Show us your penis.
No.
I've been washed
No,
in.
isn't it your pecker?
Show us your pecker.
You want to see my pecker?
Are you actually
Show us
vegan?
your pecker.
No.
No, he's just being a troll.
Yeah.
Is anyone vegan here?
Fuck no.
No, I thought we.
Damn, no vegans.
I thought we.
You're vegan, Sky?
No, I'm not. I tried it for like 6 months.
I tried it for like
Why
fucking
did you stop
4.
it?
Why did I stop? Good question. I think I was just sick of fellow vegans being so.
Oh my
aggressive
god,
with
they're
their
so
ideologies.
fucking douchey about it too. That's why I
Look,
stopped.
I don't care if you believe in that and you don't want to eat meat, fine, but don't tell me I can't eat
Exactly.
fucking meat.
Yeah.
Oh, that
And,
sounds
like my
just
favorite fucking argument was,
disgusting right
"Oh,
now.
you're going vegan? Have you eaten meat before? Yeah. Oh, now I'm gonna start giving you shit because you eat meat. Like fucking.
Is that
what?
a thing?
That's a thing. I've
Yeah.
gotten. That was one thing I got, and I live in California, so you expect that shit.
Jesus.
See, and
I think
that
it's
right
like it's
there.
minimal though.
That right there, though, is the sort of elitist gatekeeping I hate too. Like, I work with someone who goes, he's a country boy who hates guns, etc., etc. And I go, yeah, I want a house out in the country away from people. He goes, the last thing we need is city people like you moving out there. Bro, I think on the
Alright.
scale of 1 to 5, I'm probably more country than you, so we can chill there. This and that, and he starts going, well, you ever done this and this? Yeah, yes, I have. That one twice. But it's just an elitist gatekeeping system, you know?
No,
Oh,
what
you
we
can't
call
be
them is
vegan because you had meat once before. Okay, because people don't change and they don't want to make a decision later in their life. Get over yourself.
well, it's not even that. It's just people need to understand it's a fucking diet at the end of the day. And
If you want to be a vegan, fine, but don't try to shove it down my throat because I'd prefer meat down there.
the best fucking
Yes, I know that.
the best thing I can think of to
I'll
give
take
as an
meat in all
example
forms.
is the example of religion. People who are religious, cool. I respect your religious choice. I respect everything you breathe, think about, all that. I respect it. What I don't respect is if you try to shove that shit down my throat like a hard cock, because I don't really want to hear it in that sense. You know, it's like you need to be religious. Like those people fucking suck.
Damn,
You
are
know?
y'all still talking about religion?
No,
No.
we
actually,
weren't.
talking
We
about
weren't.
cock just then.
It went full circle. I promise. Like this.
It
was
did
the
go
end
full
of the
circle.
conversation.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just asked myself that question. I don't know if it makes
But
sense.
those people fucking suck for real. Like,
And
It's
those kinds of people tend to be the people who are closed-minded in terms of hearing new
Yes.
information.
That's why I choose to be agnostic, because I like to be mindful of what other people might
Exactly.
think is
It's
real.
very simple.
yeah,
Yeah.
like me, I don't have no religious views or anything like that. I always keep my mouth shut on it because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
out of respect. And it's funny because, like, people always say this when I say that they're like, "Why is it funny? It's not funny." I'm like, well, my mother, she's an atheist, and my father. Bear in mind, I am adopted by my aunt and uncle, so I will call them my father and mother. My father is Turkish, which is, Muslim.
Mhm.
So I got to not only experience both those things, but also from my mom's mom, my grandmother. She was a Jehovah's Witness.
Well,
This shit went
Oh,
full
damn,
fucking
Jesus
circle,
Christ.
Jesus.
and none
You
of
got
them.
like a little bit of everything in there.
You
Yeah,
know,
and
I'm
neither of them put any of that on me.
I am a huge advocate for certain things, and I think I would have taken that ticket out just being in that. I would have been like, well, I'm good. A rope, chair, I'm out.
You said
Yeah,
you
maybe
said
I'll
none of
respawn with
the-
better stats and better family. Yeah. See you later.
No, but it's nice because they didn't even try to force me in any religion or at all. So like they weren't like fucking hardcore. Like my grandma, she was hardcore, but
take that for granted.
she was a Jehovah's Witness, so she would
I was gonna say,
literally.
once you get Jehovah's Witness, you get pretty fucking hardcore.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like she was Jehovah's
Yeah,
Witness, so she
that's-
did, but she didn't bring it back home. You know what I mean?
That's straight a fucking cult. People
Yeah.
try to
I just
leave
hate when they
that.
rock up on my doorstep and they expect me to make the time to talk to them when I'm busy and they don't understand. I'm just not interested. And then they
That's
stand
why. That's why you say, wait a minute, and you go get your biggest bottle of booze and you chug it while they're talking to you.
Well, no,
When I
it's
realized
really
it's
great
Jehovah
because
Witnesses-
during COVID, Jehovah's Witness can't come to your doors, so they've been sending out letters. So I
Yeah.
have their PO box to respond.
Oh, I'd send letters of dog shit.
Just you know
Worm,
what?
Worm, you know the kind of kinky fuckery I'm into. I was
Just-
sending. I sent them a nice photo spreadsheet of why I wasn't interested.
Wait,
Brad, I'm a Jehovah's Witness.
Hey,
You want my?
Red,
Would you like my
right.
address?
Can we?
You're a Jehovah's Witness? Here's my cougar.
I am now.
So that reminds me of a call I got at work.
Oh, here we go.
No, it was someone from England. Like when the kid picks up and they go, "Can we speak to a manager?" He goes walking past me. Where are you going? He goes, "Well, they want to speak to a manager." I go, "Okay, put it on hold." It wasn't on hold yet. So he puts it on hold. I pick up. Now we have caller ID. I don't think a lot of people realize this because so many people, they go, "How'd you know who I was?" I go, "Got caller ID, you fucking idiot." You know, it's existed since the fucking 90s. I digress here. That's another point of contention, but it's not right now.
Continue.
I look down and I see 1111 and a whole bunch of other numbers, and I go, "What the fuck? Someone from the UK calling, eh?" So
String out their international call.
oh yeah, dude, she had a super. He goes with some lady with an English accent. And I start talking to her, and I give her. She does her whole spiel. I go, "Well, I have zero control over that." She goes, "Do you know who would?" I go, "These other places." She goes, "Well, when should I call back and talk to them?" I go, "Well, there are other places. They're not here." Anyway, she keeps going on. I go, "You know what? 1 second. Let me get you someone who can." So I put it on hold and I send the kid to go give it to someone else. And you should have seen the look he gave. He goes, "The kid's too young and new to have done that. I knew you did that and I knew it was suspicious." But she talked to him and then they kept calling fucking back. I was like, "Listen, if she calls back again, tell her, fuck off, go fuck herself, and stop fucking calling, you fucking cunt." He was like, "Can I?" I go, "Yes." And he goes, "Well, how about I just give her the old pizza line? Thanks for calling Joe's abortion clinic and pizzeria. Yesterday's mistake is today's dinner." And I go, "Well, that's very 90s. I go, "That's very 90s." He goes, "Well, it's making
Yesterday's
a comeback."
loss, today's loss.
Yeah. He goes, "Well, it's making a comeback." And I go, "Whatever. I don't care what you do." But that's the point of like intrusive like annoyance. Like, fuck you, lady in the UK, just trying to do your job. You piss me off.
Hey, Navi.
Yes.
Everybody else in the chat, I have a question to pose.
Also, you said it wrong before we get
So,
on with it. It's Joe's Pizzeria and Abortion Clinic, where yesterday's loss is today's sauce. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't
So,
care.
to everybody, whenever I say, imagine a midget fucking a woman in the ear, what do you think of? Let's go through the chat. No. Alan, what do you think of?
Jesus.
You.
Boy, I'm gonna slap you in my cock. Okay, Navi. Actually, no.
That's not much of a fucking threat now, is it?
What do y'all think?
Oh no, Worm's gonna hit me with his giant ass worm. Ooh.
It's not, it's
Trust
a
me, it's
tuna
not that
can.
freaking giant.
He's tuna
You're
can
pretty
worm.
safe.
Wait, have you seen it, Red?
No, I've been given many descriptions of it, and from what I've been told, you might need a mic. Yeah, it's small.
Listen,
Hey,
have you ever
don't say that about my boy.
Have you ever
Hey.
seen a full-size tractor tire? Yes.
That's your cock?
Is this still
Okay, around. Yes.
Or is that the whole of your urethra?
It's no, that's
Pretty
just
much
that's
his
just
statement is he's round as a can of corn, but shortly
2
back.
inches, 2 inches long, thicker than a can of corn.
What do you do?
Yeah,
with
it's
that?
the one.
My man.
I sort of want to see this actually. Can we do another cock judging?
Oh my god, do I have
wait,
to go
wait,
do
wait,
more
wait. Did you
girth
say another
You know
certificates
what?
cock
out?
Actually, hey, I have a question. Which way does Alex swing his cock? Since you guys are Australian, when he helicopters, does it go the other way around?
What the fuck up?
I have to admit, I've never really seen my husband in helicopter.
Fuck.
No, wait, we're
He's
diverting.
usually too busy doing other things to be helicoptering.
He's trying to divert the conversation. No,
Damn, Bobby's good.
listen. I won't share it, but I will accept the task of judging said cock.
Navi, I'll send you everybody talking about you and me. His wife's titties if you drop this.
Bet.
No, because
Bet.
you keep talking about this can of fucking corn that's only 2 inches, and now I'm fucking
Wait,
I'd like to
interested.
wait.
point out those tits
Hold
are
up.
pretty top notch.
I've got him. I've got
I
him.
gotta
Looking
see
at 'em.
this myself now.
God.
Ah,
Oh
they're
my
ready.
Hey, maybe I
God.
should go look at these tits again.
I need
I'm
to.
gonna go.
I need to go like ask permission since he
Oh.
asked
Why do
me
you need to fucking ask
permission.
permission to look at a fucking set of tits?
But I think at this point, I'm gonna hit end
Just-
on this.
Just
I
think of it
think